Welcome to another episode of Pathetic, the podcast. We're here back at you. I want to remind you, if you are a regular listener but you haven't hit the subscribe button, please subscribe. And if you get the opportunity to rate us, 5-star, thumbs up, whatever it is, please do that. If you listen on Spotify or whatever platform you listen to, please do the same. Subscribe, rate us if you can. We're excited about this. I'm very excited because in a month the football season starts, and I think that's where we're really going to amp up. In the bottom corner of the screen, you can see our Link.Tree. You can hit us up on, go to Link.Tree, and it'll have all our connections there. We do have our Gmail where you can reach us at, and that is Patheticthepodcast at gmail.com.
Yes, I think we got it
actually
now.
remembered it this week. We actually had a listener send us something and say, I remembered your podcast email. And, so I'm going to send you an email. So that was pretty good. I almost forgot to look for it because I couldn't remember the name of it. But Mikey, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Had a great afternoon in New York City. We saw Anne Juliet on Broadway with Joey Fatone in it, and actually got to meet Joey Fatone after the show, which was pretty cool. So, nice guy. I met him before. I met him on a cruise, actually. He was on the same Disney cruise that I was on, and did karaoke, which was a lot of fun. And then a couple of us did In Sync while he was sitting there, and he looked not thrilled about our singing of his song.
He didn't like it that way?
No. Well, that's Backstreet Boys.
I'm sorry. Wrong boy band.
Yes. So, but yeah, great day.
Nice.
Little hot, but feeling good. Jeff, how we doing?
I'm doing good. Just trying to get through the boring part of the sports year with no baseball and really nothing going on for this week. Did you guys watch the All-Star game yesterday?
Not an inning.
I did.
Not a minute.
I watched maybe 2 innings and I was done. It's cool in the beginning. I thought the theatrics were actually okay, and I'm usually not a fan of those. What I didn't like, and Mike, you saw it, so you can probably maybe disagree with me. Let's see what you think. I didn't love the announcers talking to the pitchers. You could tell the pitchers were kind of like, I don't want to do this. Like, stop talking. Except Kershaw had fun with it. But they were all like, dude, I'm still trying to win this game here. The All-Star games, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. But baseball, I can manage for a couple innings, and then I was done.
Baseball actually does it right when it comes to the All-Star game because it actually looks like a baseball game. The hockey one before the Four Nation tournament that we had this year. Before that, the 3-on-3 nonsense and, no checking even before that. And NBA is just an absolute joke. And they even just got rid of the Pro Bowl. They said, we're not even going to do this anymore. But at least the MLB All-Star game looks like actual baseball. They play with the regular rules. There's pitchers that are, slinging it in there, 100 and something miles an hour from a couple of the guys in the first couple innings. And, you only have one inning that you're going to pitch. So that you could just let it all go for that one inning. And I loved the swing off. I would honestly almost prefer that than the guy on second base in the 10th inning of regular season games. Just do a home run derby at the end.
Yeah, that's cool.
Was so much fun to watch.
I didn't know they were going to do that
with the shootout. So why can't they do it in baseball for the regular season? So,
well, I was glad to see that Edwin Diaz was able to show everyone across the country how to properly blow a save. I did read that he blew the save. So now he shared that because he's usually only shared that with us here in New York when he comes in with a 1-run lead and immediately walks the first batter or gets a hit. So, for the most part, he does well, but that was weird. And it was great. I didn't see it. I just read it. My boy Alonso hit a 3-run shot, which was nice. I like that.
And I'm also glad that they went back to everyone wearing their regular uniforms during the game. When they lined up along the baselines before the game, I was like, this is the All-Star game that I remember seeing everybody in order with each team represented. Just so cool to see all the uniforms next to each other. So
100%.
Great job, MLB, to listening to the fans and saying you need to go back to this. So
No, that's true. But and what's weird is like Jeff said before we went on live, you know how it is such a dead period. We remember the All-Star game would end on a Tuesday and you had games on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you had games on Wednesday. Now we don't have anything till Friday.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's like we're hanging around and um there's really nothing on. I'm watching banned science fiction movies from the 50s. So I mean that's how bad it's gotten for
This is
me.
a Mikey Mush special week. There's a lot of fun
Oh boy.
alternative sports that are on all over the place. So if you're into Mikey Mush's picks, this is your week because you got all the stuff. I mean,
Well,
CBS Sports Network was putting on. I don't even know what was going on for part of the day yesterday. I woke up in the middle of the night and there was something with. It was on ESPN actually. It was a combination of soccer, lacrosse. It was like 3 goals, and the teams were playing defense and offense at the same time on the goals. It was crazy to watch.
Well, this is a good opportunity for everybody to look up the sports that we can't pronounce. We can't pronounce the
yes.
players.
Yep.
And sometimes you'll find like a diamond in the rough, one of these weird, odd sports that are more entertaining than some of the sports that we talk about. So you got a couple days left to do it. So I may start doing that too. I might start searching around these countries and regions for these, unicorn sports.
So
Yeah.
Mikey, I was hanging out with Jeff this past Saturday, up in upstate New York, and he didn't get to see me get so angry because we were leaving when it happened. But for the last 3 weeks, I bet parlays on Canadian Football League with virtual locks, mortal locks, and it's just teams are losing at home, like 4-0 teams are losing at home and all. I was just like, this is just. I was just, and I told Jeff and a bunch of the guys the games I had, and they're all like laughing at me. And then as we're leaving, I'm checking my phone. So I'm done now betting Canadian Football League. The only thing I'm going to do that's Canadian is eat Tim Horton donuts. So that's pretty much going to be it. But we got to the All-Star break, and it's a little different than baseball wise than we kind of thought it was going to be when we were looking at this point a month ago. Okay. So when it comes to the Mets, we're a half a game behind the Phillies. There's not much to say there. I think that the Mets and the Phillies are going to go back and forth the whole rest of the way. I don't think anybody's going to run away from anybody. The Mets is starting to get healthy, so I think that'll keep them in the race for that Eastern title. But I think it's going to go back and forth. Yanks are a different story right now, and you guys coming into the All-Star break trailing, but I don't know, it was like 2.5 games, whatever it is. How do you feel, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic. Look, you had
What a shock.
you had Toronto and you had Boston both go on 10-game winning streaks, and you're still only 2 games back of them. When you were on a 6-game losing streak, you had 2 6-game losing streaks during that time. You're still only 2 back. You still have the better pitching staff for both of those teams. I think you still have a better lineup than both of those teams, even with the deficiency that you have with the third base, which is a nothing, the whole left side of the infield, which really is a nothing. But, I think that they are right where you want them to be. They woke up, they got their little scare before the All-Star break. They're going to come out swinging here. They play Atlanta after the break. Then they go to Toronto. They could probably be in first place before they leave Toronto on over the next week. So when we do this next week, we might be looking at a first place Yankee team at this point.
So they go back to Toronto.
Correct. They go to Atlanta. I'm sorry, to Atlanta and then to Toronto after the All-Star break. So
That'll be interesting. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
So we'll do a little good cop, bad cop here, because I am not overly worried, but I'm certainly not optimistic, and I'm somewhere in the middle. I feel okay about the Yankees. The Yankees need help. The Yankees have to make moves at the trade deadline because, first of all, they need bullpen help, number one, right? The problem is, so does everybody, right?
Yeah.
And there's not that many arms out there for the Yankees to go after. And the Yankees don't have the same amount of prospects to trade as some of these teams that they're racing with to get these guys. Because if we're looking to win a World Series, which I think that's what we're doing as Yankee fans, right? They're not going to win with this bullpen. And they also need a third baseman, right? Because right now, Peraza, who's, I guess, the third baseman, if he can call him that,
Yeah.
he's an automatic out in the lineup, right? The guy can obviously field. We know that. He's actually a very good fielder, but the guy can't hit. I mean, he popped up a bunt last week. I haven't seen that since Little League. I mean, it was like not just like it looked like a foul ball with the bunt that went in the. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. But we already have one automatic out in Anthony Volpe. We can't have two in the lineup, right? So they got to do something at third base. And, this leadoff hitter situation is getting a little interesting too, because personally, I like Dominguez leading off,
Yeah.
right? The problem is he can't field either, right? So if you're going to play this guy every day as a liability in left field, that's going to be a problem, right? So he's got to get better there. And he can't hit from the right side. Okay. So I think what they should do with Dominguez is just have him bat lefty, even against lefties. I don't care, because he's better off doing that than going to the right side. And then the last thing I want to see more of, and this is just my personal opinion because I like this guy, I want to see more of Ben Rice. I think he's being sold short here because I think he's a really, really good player. And he's one of the few complete baseball players the Yankees have, right? I think it's Judge, Bellinger, right? Just those two that I think are the most complete players. Everyone else has like one good thing they do. But, with Ben Rice, he was a catcher this year. That's not his position for a game or two. You're not moving Wells anyway. You're not going to DH him. Stanton has to be the DH, right? Because he's always a home run threat. I'm not against him splitting time with Paul Goldschmidt, right? Because right now, Paul Goldschmidt's really been killing us lately. I would even maybe favor putting Rice in there more because he's going to be a piece for the future. But those are just three things I see with the Yankees that I think are an issue. But one more thing I'll add, the division is getting spicy with the Red Sox, like you said, Mike, winning 10 in a row. You basically have this entire division fighting for first place except for Baltimore. It's going to be nerve-wracking for the Yankees, but it's going to be exciting. But I do believe that they have to make a couple moves because right now they're not a World Series team, in my opinion. They have too many glaring holes that they need to fix. But, I think Cashman said he's going to be aggressive and go after it. So I guess time will tell.
He actually said, we're going to town.
Yeah.
We're going to town. So
he better.
It's going to be interesting.
I think you have to, I agree with you. You have to get third base figured out. Bullpen arm, everyone's going to be looking for one, so it's going to be hard. You're going to have to do a diamond in the rough kind of thing. You're going to have to find somebody who is off the beaten path, give up a little something for him, have one of those Cashman magic trades that he's done over the last couple of years and do that. I mean, what's crazy is for third base, would you be opposed to bringing back IKF to just play third base at this point? Because I think that's one that you could probably get for a pretty cheap amount of capital. There's the guy. I don't want the guy in Arizona. I don't want Suarez because he is. We already have enough guys who strike out and home run are their only two options. We already have at least two of those guys already. So in Chisholm and Stanton at this point. Mm-hmm. So to add a third guy to that, who's going to be a all in or nothing. One day he could hit 2 home runs, but the next day he's 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. I don't want that. I would take IKF. I would take the guy in Colorado if you could somehow pry him away. Yeah. Something there for third base, but
I wouldn't be opposed. I wouldn't be opposed to IKF, but I actually do want the kid from Colorado, McMahon.
Yeah.
I think that would be good because he has a good Yankee Stadium swing. IKF, the reason why, Mike, I didn't even think of that, but that's not bad. He's played here, right? So that's a huge factor. He knows what he's getting into. But then you look at McMahon, he's going to go from crap to gold. So he's going to be excited to play. So I think either one of those two, man, you could pick anybody in the league right now. It's going to be better than Peraza, right? Because the guy just can't hit, man. I mean, he literally cannot hit. So I think anybody would be an upgrade. But I would say if they can land or trade for IKF or McMahon, Not a sexy move, but that would be an underrated, very good move if they could pull that off.
Don't be shocked if you walk away from the trade deadline with Nolan Arenado. Don't be
Yeah,
shocked.
it could be.
His
Because
name's been out there.
if Cashman's serious,
Yep.
that's a guy he's going to go after.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's but
And I have to plead with Yankee fans. Stop with this micromanaging of every single thing Anthony Volpe does. It's killing his mojo. It's killing him. Let's take a page. I hate to say this for New Yorkers, but let's take a page out of Philadelphia and cheer him as hard as you possibly can when they come home and play the Phillies next weekend. Cheer his ass off and get him motivated, because you saw what he could do last year in the playoffs. He was pretty clutch, I would say, in a lot of places, and he does have almost 50 RBIs already this year. I know a lot of that was front loaded, but some of the hits that he has had in the time when they're not that many, but they are in some bigger spots. I mean, the last couple of weeks has not been, but I'm begging people to just let the kid play. He's 20 something years old. Let him continue to grow here and stop thinking he's Derek Jeter. No one's going to be Derek Jeter. There's never going to be another Derek Jeter that plays shortstop for the Yankees. It's just not going to happen. So let him be a suitable shortstop, which is like a 260 guy, 80, 90 RBIs, gets on base a lot, walks a little bit. That's the kind of shortstop you need for this team. You need somebody on base. You need traffic in front
well,
of
it
the
ain't
big
going to be
boys.
Anthony Volpe with those numbers you're throwing out.
Well, let me just edit what Mike said. He said, "Jeff, stop micromanaging." Not people. He's talking directly to me. The problem is, Mike, he is not hitting 98 RBIs this year. There is no he might not even break 65 at this point because they were so front loaded. And the thing is, and we talked about this off the air, you and I don't need him to be Derek Jeter. I just want him to bat over 225, right? So the expectations, yes, of course. It's like, with the Giants, somebody's replacing Eli Manning. Patriots, someone's replacing Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Not an easy thing to do. But the thing is, there was already a middleman between Volpe and Jeter in IKF. So it's not like there's this comparison to Derek Jeter. It's just, can you hit over 230? Can you stop chasing the ball? Can you be consistent? Right? That's all we're asking. And personally, Mike, I don't want to be hard on this guy. You know my thoughts, man. I think he stinks. I think he's an okay fielder. He's maybe even pretty good, I would say. He lets the ball play him all the time, like it's watching Little League. It's just, I don't know if it's one of these things where it's like Gleyber Torres. It's just not working here, but then he makes the All-Star team in Detroit. But I think Volpe's done here, bro. I really do. I don't. He'll have some good weeks, but if you're looking for the consistency at shortstop, not even Derek Jeter, just somebody decent, I don't see anything in 3 years that tells me that's going to happen. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're right and I'm wrong.
I think he's completely in his own head right now.
Yeah.
And I understand what Mike's saying. And I think to an extent, if somehow, some way, maybe this kid could just calm down and just not have the game going at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Because he is a better fielder than what we've seen.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. And listen, I was called out, Mike, this weekend by my other nephew that he's very upset with this show. He listens to it every week, but he's upset because he says, "Uncle Teddy, you're a fraud." And that's my nephew, Will. He's called me a fraud. He says, because you hate the Yankees. And I hate to see this new, I like everyone. I'm fine. And I'm trying to explain to him why I really don't hate the Yankees, but I'm also going to be the voice of reason here. I think that if everybody around him is doing what they should be doing, if you had a third baseman, a real third baseman, you wouldn't be looking at Anthony Volpe so hard. But we're looking at Anthony Volpe. But I do agree with Jeff. I think his time here is going to be done soon. When they get the opportunity, he's going to be playing somewhere else. But I don't think the kid's as bad as we think. But he's not as good as, Aaron Boone at least thinks, so.
Yeah. And I know what Mike's saying because, like, I even though I disagree with him, with Volpe being, like, potentially the answer here, he's got talent. That's what pisses me off so much. And I think
Mhm.
that's where Mike's coming in, like, just, keep moving forward with them because he does have talent. And Uncle Ted, not only is he a better fielder than what we've seen, he's also a better hitter than what
Yeah.
we've seen, which is why I
Yeah.
guarantee you this will be a Glaber Torres situation, except shorter lived, where he's not going to be here. I don't think he'll be he might be gone next year, and he's going to go somewhere else, to wherever, Cincinnati, wherever, name the team, and he's going to be good,
I
just like
agree.
Torres is doing, because now we got the New York media, the fan base, the
Yeah.
craziness over here behind him. He's tough now because of that, but I just don't see it working out here. But again, like I said, I want to be wrong. I want to come on here next year and say, damn, he's having a great start. Let's keep him. But
Well,
listen, just like
we're
everything
gonna
else,
see.
time will tell.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Mike, I want to cover another topic. We're going to do it in very limited. I want 1 minute, Mike. What are your thoughts on the Jets? Because we're going to get into football very heavy very soon. 1 minute. Jets signing the extension to Sauce and Garrett Wilson.
I love it. I am excited that these are two guys who are generational talents who they actually did a good job drafting these guys. And these are like the first draft picks that they've actually extended before the 5th-year option. Really ever since that 5th-year option has come into play. So, these two are no-brainers. I think they're happy. You paid them what they should be paid, and they are ready. They're going to come in ready to go. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think I'm glad that that's over, because there's nothing worse than a malcontent corner and a malcontent wide receiver who want to get paid and want the
Yeah.
ball. You've already made them two of the highest paid guys out there. I think Sauce is the highest paid corner, but Garrett Wilson's almost the highest paid wide receiver, and
Yeah, number 5.
that's I'm excited. I think they did a good job.
What do you think, Jeff? I know you're looking at it from you're on the Giants side of things, but you follow football. What do you think?
Yeah. So I'm definitely a huge fan of Garrett Wilson. I think he's a very, very, very good receiver. I'm not the biggest Sauce guy, but I understand why they did it. And I'll tell you this: put what just to the listeners. I know what you guys think of these two. Put what you think of them as players to the side for a second. Let's say you think they're mediocre. All right. There's one word that comes to mind here with the Jets, and this has been consistent since Aaron Glenn got here: decisive.
Yes.
Right? They're making moves. They have an idea. They have a plan. They're not. I almost dropped the F bomb. They're not fumbling. They're not fumbling around. They are making decisions, and sticking with those decisions. And listen, they're going to ride or die with the ship. Right? It may work. It may not. But at least there's not these questions. Right? At least there's no notion. There isn't the notion that Woody's still calling the shots. He might as well just like stay home. This guy is
Yeah.
doing nothing since these guys got here. The GM and what's the GM's name again? I keep forgetting the guy's name.
Darren Muji.
Muji, and
Well,
Glenn. Like, these guys are here to run the show. So if you're a Jets fan, I know some Jet fans that really don't like Sauce that much after whatever last year, but they are happy with what's going on in the organization, which is decisive. It's team building, right? They're building a team. So listen, I can't say I like it because I'm not a Jet fan, but I completely understand why they did it, and I really don't have any criticisms.
So for me, everything you guys said, kind of spot on. I'm going to give you one thing. Connor Hughes had a tweet. In Sauce Gardner's down year last year, okay, everybody said, oh, he had a down year. He allowed 1 touchdown and a completion percentage of only 53.2 when targeted. Quarterbacks threw his way only 47 times. The touchdown was tied for second fewest allowed, and 5 players allowed 0, 7 others allowed 1, and the completion percentage was 5th lowest among cornerbacks outside and inside to play at least 50% of their team's snaps. So we looked at it as a down year. Actually, it was a pretty damn good year. Here's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about the fact that Darren Muji not only got these 2 guys signed, but the way he did the contracts. these contracts don't kick in for 2 years. So they're playing on this lower number now. And in 2 years, those numbers that those guys are going to be making are going to be on the lower side of cornerbacks and wide receivers, because everything's going to go way up. And
Right.
as the salary cap goes up, these numbers aren't going to mean garbage to us. He did a great job with that. And as Mike said, they're happy. He's made them happy. They are ours. We drafted them. The next one is going to be Jermaine Johnson. That's going to be a little more challenging. But when I saw that when he signed Garrett Wilson, I said to myself, well, Sauce is not going to be signed for a year, because I don't know how they can possibly do it. And then 24 hours later, Sauce is signed. And they said this was the big one. And Jeff, you brought this up about things going on in the building and no one knowing what's going on because Aaron Glenn doesn't allow it. They apparently have been talking to Sauce and Garrett Wilson extensively for the last few months, and not a word was leaked.
Yeah.
Not a word.
That's a good point.
And when you look at the stuff that went on with Aaron Rodgers and all of that other stuff, man, I think they did find the leaks in the building, and I think they fixed them, and I think we're on the right path right now. So I'm excited. I can't wait for football season to start.
Well, listen, like I said, forget what anybody thinks of them as players. I'm sure most people think they're good, but there's some that maybe don't. Overrated, right? The fact that they're making moves and there's no leaks, right, tells you there's 2 people running the show, not 6. They don't have advisors. They don't have people telling them what to do. That guy Heimendinger, remember him? That
Heimendinger.
Heimendinger, who was like basically telling McCagnon what to do.
Yeah.
The guy, we know more football than that guy does, right? And you have 2 guys, man, that just they have a plan, and they're not second guessing their plans. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right.
They're not second guessing the plans. They're
Exactly.
they're making a decision, and they're living and dying by the sword. So we'll see what they do record wise. That's all that matters. But right now with the Jets, as a fan from an aerial view, I got nothing but respect for what they're doing.
Mike, you know why? Because we're the New York Jets. We're built for that shit.
Yeah.
So you could say, I would love to think we are, but this has been the most refreshing offseason, I think, for the Jets in a long time.
Yeah.
There's been no, like you said, Jeff, and Ted, you guys both said this. There's been no nonsense at all from this team all season. There's no somebody missed minicamp, somebody did this. There's talk about this person. There's figuring out what's going on. The biggest thing you heard was that, you made Aaron Rodgers fly out there to cut him. So what? He can afford it. Big deal.
Wait, how about this, Mike? Rookies participated in the OTAs. Not like when Saleh was the head coach. They didn't play the rookies in the OTAs because he didn't want anybody to get hurt. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? And I guarantee you, you're going to see Justin Fields in preseason games. You're going to see it.
100%. 100%.
I'm excited. Jeff, how did we do? Let's go to our betting part of this, because I'm very low on cheddar goldfish because of my stupid Canadian Football League bets. So I need to get some cheddar goldfish. How did you do last week with the UFC?
Shockingly, I went 2 for 3.
Every week, 2 for 3.
Every week, 2 for 3. But I did hit on my big underdog. So that was the heavyweight fight. Remember, I told you last week, that guy was a pretty heavy dog. But heavyweights, one punch changes everything, and that's exactly what happened.
I love that guy too. He's probably my favorite fighter right now. Is that guy?
Oh man, yeah. There's some stuff he said post fight I can't repeat on the air, but look, you heard it, right, Mike?
That's why he's my favorite guy. I mean, the stuff that's going on is just the best.
Nice.
So before I get to the picks, this guy, what he does is when he wins fights, now he's wearing underwear, but he takes his trunks off and starts like waving it around the octagon. It's hilarious.
I do that at home here. When Aunt Peachy makes a really good dinner, I take my pants off and I go like this.
Yeah.
So, that's awesome. So 2 out of 3. All right.
2 out of 3. So I was going to back off on the parlay, but I'm not. If it's 2, it's not like I went 0 for 3. We're going to keep rolling with this. And I actually feel very, very good about this parlay. It's a huge fight card. we're going to start with the first parlay we're going to do is Patricio Pitbull over Dan Ige, who's a minus 150. Dan Ige is a tough guy, but Pitbull is just, I would even say tougher. He's a Pitbull, right? He's just a very tough guy to beat. So I'm going to go Pitbull
This isn't
over.
the singer, right? Pitbull.
No.
Oh, okay.
I think he walks out to Pitbull, the singer, though. That's his walkout music. Makes sense, right? So we'll do Pitbull over Ige. Second fight, we're going to do Kevin Holland over Daniel Rodriguez. Kevin Holland's minus 245. Kevin Holland's just a much better fighter. He's longer. He's got more power. Daniel Rodriguez is more of a brawler, right? And brawling doesn't work in martial arts. Just doesn't. So I'm going to go Holland over Rodriguez. And then finally, we're going to do the main event. This is in my opinion, the best fight of the year. Max Holloway is fighting Dustin Poirier, and we're going to do Max Holloway over Poirier, and he's plus 140. Reason why I'm doing that is because two reasons. First of all, Max Holloway, remember I was telling that story about the last 10 seconds of the fight. He just started swinging when he was winning and knocked the guy out. That's the guy. I mean, he's a beast. And Poirier, this is his retirement fight. So you know what I think about the retirement fights.
If you're talking about being retired, you're already retired.
You should do it already. He's got 1 foot out the door, which is fine. I mean, these guys should retire when they're ready. But when you're retiring, you got 1 foot out the door. Holloway is trying to get a title shot. That's his mind right now, right?
Yeah.
So he's an underdog slightly, which is pretty wild. So I that's actually my lock of the night. If you want to bet one fight and not do my parlay, do Holloway over Poirier. There's, anything can happen, but I'm certain he's going to win that fight.
So I think the odds have changed since you made these picks, because I just pulled it up on my Cheddar Goldfish site. So Pitbull is plus 180 in that fight. So he's actually a pretty big underdog. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Holland is now minus 550 in that fight, which is a huge favorite.
Yeah, he's gonna destroy him.
He's gonna win.
Then Max Holloway is a minus 135 favorite now. I think the betting line has shifted dramatically on that. So if you bet the three together, it's almost 5-1, plus 476. If you did the parlay there.
Yeah, money's gonna roll in on Holloway for sure. It's gonna keep going too.
Do me a favor and text me those three guys so I can put some goldfish on that when you get a chance.
I'll do it right now.
All right. Well, the odds probably changed after they heard what Jeff was picking. The odds changed. But all right. So everybody, you've got Jeff's picks. You decide what you want to do. I like his picks. He's pretty consistent. But now we're gonna go to a guy he's been so hot. So hot. And in the words of my wife, if Mikey is in on it, you better get in on it. So we're going to go with Mikey Mush's picks. Mike, first off, tell everybody about that hat you're wearing, which is cool as hell, and then give us a wrap-up of what happened last week.
All right, so the hat is a special edition minor league baseball hat. It's the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs right here in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Every year they do a tribute to Philly. So this is the Lehigh Valley Water Ice is the name of the team that they used for that day, and these are the hats that they wore. Awesome, love it. Summertime, you just want to eat that Italian ice that's on the hat. So from there,
that's an awesome hat.
So I thought the water polo world championships would be over at this point. They're actually not. We're still going on. However, I can say that both the U.S. women and the Italian men both earned automatic buys into the quarterfinals. So they are both there. Italy is actually the top seed for the men, and the U.S. women are the second seed. So they are doing exactly what we thought they would be doing. So they're still both alive for the water polo. There's matches I think that are this weekend that will get us all the way through to the final. I think the finals are on the 23rd for the women and the 24th for the men. So next week we will have a definitive winner for both men and women's water polo there.
Mike, I will say this: if any of our listeners and you, of course, are into these water sports, you're definitely going to want to check out the Spain's swimming team. Very interesting team.
Fair,
Both
fair.
men and women. So Mike, so we've got that still going. What do you have going on this week?
So we're gonna stay in the water, Ted. We're gonna stay in the water. We're gonna go over to Portsmouth, England. The sailing GP World Championships, the British Grand Prix is going to be on Saturday. I am going to take the boys from down under Australia to win the British Grand Prix. They are plus 350. They're the second choice. New Zealand is one. I don't like the Kiwis. I'm not a Kiwi fan. I hate Kiwi strawberry anything. So I can't go with New Zealand. I'm going with Australia plus 350. If you really want to get crazy, United States is the second. United States and Italy are the two worst choices, plus 6,000 and plus 7,500.
Wow.
So they are they're not very good at sailing. We prefer to swim in the water as opposed to sail in it. So, and if we're going to sail, we're going to drink beer or sip wine if we're Americans or Italians if we're in the water. So we're not sailing to go fast. We want to be slow and relax and enjoy ourselves. So I'll take Australia plus 350. Enjoy the weekend. We're going to be back to baseball finally. But enjoy the next couple days. Find something fun to watch.
Yes.
Find something to enjoy. I've actually been watching, actual, reality TV. I'm Big Brother just started again. I am all in on that. I've been watching the live feeds every day. So, I'm excited to get back to sports once it gets back up and running here on Friday.
Well, 1950s old sci-fi black and white movies. That's what I've been watching the last few days. The Blob was one of them. Yeah, the one I'm actually keyed up for tonight after we're finished is They Came from Outer Space.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so we're going to be checking that out. Guys, had a lot of fun. Everyone out there, again, check our link tree, Patheticthepodcast at gmail.com. Send us some of the things that you're doing when you're not watching baseball while they're on a little bit of a break. Let us know what you're doing, and let's see if it's cool, or we just have to come and visit you and give you a slap for whatever it is you're doing. But guys, this was fun. We have another fun episode coming up for you very soon. But until then, have a great night.